financial literacy, and the human condition. Welcome to Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rayam.
Hi, it's Francis. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for watching this video. If you're catching us on YouTube, please help us help others by clicking like, subscribe, and all notifications so you don't miss any videos. And check back for the next video. I think you're going to love it. Thanks again. For more information, you can visit us at hugyourmoney.com.
Welcome to Financial Fitness. I'm Jess Tyler, along with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rayam. Hi.
Hi, Jess. Happy holidays.
You as well. It's getting down to the wire now, right?
It is. It is. And we've actually had a little weather, a little snow, some of that white stuff. Yeah. So
I like the white Christmas as long as it goes away immediately afterwards.
Yeah, it's so pretty when it's falling, but I don't love the mess that it makes sometimes. But anyway, talking about the holidays, of course, my job is to try to save people some money. And sometimes that comes in ways that you might not expect.
Okay.
So I know you're getting a million tips everywhere else. I have scoured the internet and pulled from some sources like AARP or Family Handyman, some of the things that I think are most interesting. And of course, I have some of my own thoughts as well.
Okay.
That we hope will save people money and get your creative juices flowing about gifts to give, even when they're free.
Oh, I like that.
My favorite price, free. Okay. And they might be a surprise to you. Okay. First of all, just speaking of snow, let's talk a little bit about just a brief bit about the Family Handyman site that I was talking about. It's called familyhandyman.com.
Okay.
And, there are a lot of sites like this out there, but some of these things are pretty interesting. And I found two that I thought, I think I might do those.
Okay. Is this kind of like an Angie's List?
No, I don't think it is. I think I don't know the history behind the site, but I think it's a site where somebody has all these little, I don't want to call them gimmicks, but like sort of fix-it things that you can do.
So little tips.
Yeah, some of them were more on the edge than others, but these two I found. Now, will they save you money? Well, we could stretch this a bit and say, yeah, if you don't have to go to the hospital because you injured yourself shoveling snow, it might save you some money. But really, I just found these two things interesting and I hadn't heard them anywhere else. One is to spray you can tell me if you've heard this, maybe you have, spray your snowblower chute with RainX.
No.
Right?
Yeah. I don't have a snowblower, but that seems like that makes sense.
Well, I do have a snowblower, and let me tell you, when it clogs up, or you're worried about, breaking a shearing pin or something like that, then yeah, you're going to spend some money on it. I just thought that was an interesting thing because it might not cost you anything more. You probably already have RainX sitting in your garage or something. Maybe it's a little bit, but stick some in a spray bottle and spray your chute. And apparently the snow comes out more easily, which could make your life easier. Okay. The second tip I found there that I really liked. Yeah, I know you're going to laugh at me, folks, but I'm kind of a geek about this stuff. I thought this was really cool. Wax your snow shovel. Wax your snow
so the snow slides off?
Yeah. Now, for anybody in a warm climate listening to me, they're going to be like, what is she talking about? But for us in the Northeast, where we get real snow, wet, sticky snow, especially for older people who might still be feeling well enough to shovel and maybe they even love to shovel. I mean, we have an older person that lives next door to me, shovels out my sidewalk sometimes.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but he's healthy and he likes to do it and it feels good to him. But when that snow starts sticking to your shovel, it's not fun. So wax up your snow shovel. I never would have thought of that, but I thought it was an interesting thing. Okay, we're going to go straight from the handyman into the fancy stuff we wear at the holidays.
Okay.
Right? Now, this is true for people buying prom dresses or other outfits like this too. But how do you think you save money if you have to dress up for the holidays? I wonder what your number one tip would be, Jess.
My tip would be to find a site like Rent the Runway where you can get a nice designer dress for like $50 because chances are you're going to spend a few hundred and you're never going to wear it again.
No one would have thought that, no one will believe that we didn't talk about this, but that is exactly right. I thought you might say, well, I would shop at a consignment
discount store.
Or a survival center or something. And you could do that too. But in case you're wanting something that is really fancy and you don't have a lot of money, yes, Rent the Runway. A couple of other sites are threadup.com
Yeah.
That's F, that's THRED, no A in it, threadup.com. And if you want something a little more upscale, you might check
Hmm.
Poshmark.com. But you're absolutely right. You can get things here either at a discount or just rent it and send it
Yeah.
back. By the way, ladies and men, tuxedos. People
Mm.
do not wear tuxedos very often, but when you need one, this is a great way to have it for the evening. Okay. Let's see. So, what about veterans? Veterans should get used to asking for the discount. I know,
Hmm.
I know. It's a pride thing. You don't want to say, hey, I'm a veteran, give me a discount. But you know what? You folks earned it.
Right, for
Okay.
sure.
You earned the 5 or 10% discount they're going to give you, whatever it happens to be. Look at the nationally recognized stores like Adidas and Zappos. They will give you a veterans discount. A lot of stores will give you a veterans discount, but you have to ask for it and bring your ID. You got to
Mm.
prove you're a veteran, okay? But I think that's worth doing. Take advantage of that this holiday season. If you're shopping for your family, guess what? They get the discount through you, right?
Yeah, yeah. I would say the same thing too for seniors. Like I was looking on a full list of places that seniors can get a discount, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this isn't really going to apply to you like 65 or 70. But there was quite a few on there that you could be 50 or older or 55 or older, and I'm all
Yes.
about the discount.
As a matter of fact, I have been growing a list. We will do a show about this. I've been growing
Okay.
a list of senior discounts. I think it's up to 4 pages now,
Hmm.
and a lot of them start at age 50.
Yeah, that's
So
not senior to me, but that's
it's
great. Hey,
not
you want to
senior
give
to
a
me
discount?
either.
Yeah.
It's not senior. Sorry, Lola is joining us here.
Oh,
You
love
might see
Lola.
it, folks, you might see a little tail, or
The
here she
prettiest kitty
comes.
ever. Yes.
She's sweet, but she's going up into her little box. Okay. So yes, I agree. I remember hitting 50 and getting things in the mail that said senior, and
AARP automatically.
yeah, it was a little depressing, but I just realized, okay, what they're really doing is capitalizing on the fact that, people at that age group have some money and they want to give you deals and get them into their establishment, get
You would
you
think
into their.
some marketing genius though could come up with like a nicer name or something that people would like a little bit more.
Yeah, other than senior, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be, but we could come up with a good name, Jess. Yeah.
All right.
Intermediate senior. I don't know. You could be sophomore. You
It's
could
your
be a
chapter. It's your chapter 3 discount. You're not on 4 yet. You're not on 2. Your chapter
That's
3
right.
discount.
That's a chapter. It sounds too much like a bankruptcy. Chapter 7. You get a chapter 3 discount.
I'd like
Oh
the
my
chapter
goodness.
3, please.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, here's a tip I didn't know about.
Okay.
I like it when I find things I don't know about. Not flash flood, but flash food. So leave the second L out, okay?
Okay.
Flash Food is a relatively new app that is working with grocery stores, talking about the prices of groceries. This is why I love
Yeah.
this tip. Working with grocery stores to produce discounts of up to 50% off. Up to is always my favorite term for people use
Mm.
up to, but up to 50% off for items that are approaching their sell-by date. Now,
Okay.
before you cringe and run to the cabinet for Pepto-Bismol, sell by is not use by, okay? Sell by dates, the difference between a sell by date and a use by date, if you don't know this already, is that sell by is when it should be off the store shelves. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean it's bad sitting in your refrigerator for the next 4 days. It just means it should have been off the store shelf. Use by date is another story. You want to use your food by that date, or you risk having some sort of contamination and we worry about that. So flashfood.com, check them out. They're working with stores like Stop and Shop. We have Stop and Shops locally here, right? Tops,
Yeah.
Giant is another one they work with. It's a relatively new app, but they're working with these stores to get that food off the shelf. Now you buy it through the app and pick it up at a designated zone at the store.
Okay. So you have to go pick it up.
Yeah, you have to pick it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Yeah, that's a
suppose you
great
could
tip.
I suppose you could spend your savings on somebody like DoorDash to bring it to your door. But the idea here was to save money on groceries. Okay, let's talk about travel a bit. Um, One of the things that I find interesting and surprising is the fact that you can get discounts by not only traveling at certain times on certain transit, but by booking at certain times with certain
Okay.
transit. So
Yeah.
here's an example. Amtrack, right? Train travel, which sometimes is expensive, sometimes is a better fare than you can get on a plane. Amtrak has a thing called amtrak.com/night owl,
Okay.
where you can travel for as little as $20 from New York City to Washington, D.C.
Okay. And that's if
But
you take a night train?
yes, take the night train, yes.
Take the night train.
So you have to travel between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Hmm.
But, for a lot of people, that's no big deal. You get on a train at 7, you're off at noon, you're off at midnight, whatever, you're happy. But really check out, Night Owl. So amtrak.com/night owl. Another thing about airlines is it's not just when you're traveling that saves you money, travel
Okay.
someplace on the off season. It's when you book it. Now,
What day of the week you mean?
yes.
Yeah.
No, don't ask me what sense this makes, but it's the kind of thing you have to know to save money, right?
Hmm.
So let's see. The data from an airline reporting company called Airline Reporting Corp says that booking a trip on Sunday instead of Friday will save you 15% on international flights
Oh, wow.
and,
That's a good amount.
and 5% on domestic flights just by booking on a Sunday rather than a Friday.
That's interesting.
I don't know,
I
but
wonder
let's
if
do it.
I wonder if booking at the end of the month versus the beginning of the month saves you money because they're trying to meet flight quotas. I'm
I
just
don't
making that up
know.
in my head, but I'm just curious.
I don't know the answer to that, but that would be just the kind of thing I want people to do. Start those creative juices flowing. Like I heard that she said if I book on a Sunday, I can save up to 15% on my on my international flight. I wonder how else I can save on a flight and go
Yeah.
out there and look for it. I don't know about the beginning and end of the month, but if you book 28 to 35 days before you fly,
Okay.
you will save about 10% versus booking 2 weeks before you fly. And 2 weeks isn't exactly last minute,
Last minute. Yeah.
but start booking it a month in advance and you'll save another 10% on that.
Hmm.
So these are really, for me, these are fun things to talk about, of course. And um, talking about, traveling, I want to hit one more thing before we go to break about traveling. And it has to do with where you're staying when you travel, right?
Okay.
Are you staying in a hotel? And I'll expand on this a little bit, but if you might be thinking of staying in a vacation home,
Hmm.
which you might just cut costs right there by sharing that cost with another family or more people, you can maybe cut those costs down. If you're thinking of sharing a vacation home, we all know you go to Airbnb, you go to VRBO, right? Vacation rental by owner, or booking.com. But guess what? There is a site called HiChee, H-I, capital CHEE.com, HiChee.com, which scours those sites and finds the house you want at the best price. But here's the kicker. Once they've found it, you
Hmm.
can write to the people and book directly and probably save even more money.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like looking at all the places for Airbnb and Verbo, but the thing that always gets me is you got to be really careful about the cleaning fee. Sometimes it's like a $500 cleaning fee,
Yeah,
and you're better off with a hotel.
it's a good point that you need to, not whether you're better off or not, but that you need to read the fine print. You need to check about those costs that are what we call creeping up. Cruise costs, for instance, if you're taking a cruise, the cruise lines have avoided jumping their prices way up, so you don't really see it. However, the extras you're buying on the cruise, the travel things that you do in the little ports and things like that. If you're
Hmm.
buying alcoholic drinks or something that might not be included in your cruise, those taxes, cleaning, those things are creeping up. Those prices are creeping up. So make sure that you're getting the full ticket price when you're doing that.
Have you been on a cruise before? The
Nope.
other thing that I haven't been on one either. I do want to go on one at some point, but the other thing that I heard that people forget to factor in is that you have to tip every single person, like your cleaning,
Oh,
like
yeah.
every
Sure.
single. So there's like, I think I have
Sure.
friends that go on cruises all the time, and they end up spending like $1,000 on tips because you have to give a good amount. So you have to factor that into the cost. So just another thing to
That's
think about.
that's hefty. And thinking about that, I could imagine that the peer pressure is strong there and you are a
Hmm.
captive agent. You are on the boat.
If
Where are
you
you going
want
to go?
that,
Hey, I
yeah,
got to
if you
go to
want
my
that
car for a second.
If you want that swan pillow on your bed in a mint, you better do the $100.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's the
Yeah,
hidden costs that always get you.
that's hard. And when you think about what the cruise people must make on those tips,
Hmm.
not that they don't earn it. I'm not saying they don't earn it, but that must be a great gig. I mean, I know a musician who plays on cruise boats and cruise ships, and that's what they do. No, I never wanted to go on a cruise. I know that sounds unusual. I like to
Yeah.
travel, but I never
Hmm.
wanted to cruise. I love boats. I love the water, but I just as soon take my own little boat out and go do something in the lake than to go on a cruise. But I understand the appeal.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly you're not unpacking, you're going to different ports. A lot of the things are included, the meals and the drinks and things are included. It's a great trip to do if you have kids because the kids are safe on the boat everywhere they go.
Hmm.
And there are lots of really appealing things about a cruise. But no, it's not for me, I guess.
Well, very interesting. A lot of money saving tips. We're going to get to more of them coming up, but I want to get your phone number first.
We are going to get to more. 413-773-3333.
Or you can visit hugyourmoney.com. We'll be back with part two of Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Ram, coming up next on WHMP.
Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor is underwritten by Franklin County Technical School. We build futures. Visit fcts.us or call 413-863-9561.
Welcome back to Financial Fitness. I'm Jess Tyler along with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Ram. Hi.
Hey, I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
Oh, for sure. I always, even if I can save a little tiny bit, I feel like I had a big win. I just love getting that little bit of a discount. I do have a couple of questions in regard to that, though, because I do think I trick myself.
Uh-oh. Okay, shoot.
Okay, so the first one is this. I always want free shipping.
Mm,
So I have Amazon Prime, but what I get roped into is, you might be planning on buying something for a couple of things that total $60. But if you do the 75, you get the free shipping.
sure.
So I always think to myself, I'm going to save money by doing that because I'm going to, if I, figure it out, I'm going to get the clothing item for cheaper. Should you do that or should you not? Or is that kind of a way to lure you in?
Both. I think
Okay.
that it is a way to lure you in, but I think you can use it to your advantage by
Okay.
slowing down a little bit. So try to plan a little bit ahead, maybe keep a list. Even what I do personally is I put things in my cart and I click save for later. So when I
Hmm.
think of it, I think, oh, I need shampoo. I go out, I put it there, but I don't pull the trigger. I just put it in my cart, save for later. Then when I'm ready to make an order, I go and add all the things so that I get up to that level to get the free shipping, which we
Okay.
are paying for in a Prime membership a little bit. But of course, it's if you really ship to your house a lot, it's well worth the money to do something like that. Yeah, I think where you get burned on stuff like that is to go and say, okay, I'm almost at free shipping. If I spend $6.85 more, let me go find something for $6.85. That's where
Hmm.
you can get burned.
Because then you think to yourself, you're getting a free item. I do this all the time with Old Navy with the kids.
Ah,
I'll be like, "Oh,
yeah.
I'll throw a couple more things in. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
So
Christmas shopping.
does Old Navy have a save it for later in their cart?
They do. And it reminds me of what you said, even when you're in a store doing shopping, like, put everything in your cart till the very end and then, wait on it.
Give it
It's
a
hard
ride
to
in your
do.
cart.
Yeah.
Give it a ride in your cart. It helps if you can do it, like I said, just when it pops into your mind. Don't put
Hmm.
it on your list and then one day go out and try to buy all the stuff. Actually go to wherever you're buying it, put it there. Okay, that's off my mind, and just save it for later so that when you're ready, you can go and do that. It is the same thing as put it in your cart, give it a ride, and make your
Yeah.
decisions when you're not under pressure,
Well, I
right?
like the idea that you just suggested too, that a lot of us will get a package, every other day. Instead, wait up for the 10 things you need and do one order to get the free shipping. And then you're, not piecemealing it.
Well, and you're being kinder to the environment as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Combining your shipping, it works really well. Speaking of people who order online, this is a time of year when we buy a lot of wrapping paper and
Hmm.
cards and tags and boxes. Now,
Yeah.
I ask you, for the average person, maybe there's somebody out there that cares about the box the gift is in, but I
Hmm.
ask you, once you wrap the gift and somebody gets the nice gift and unwraps it and opens the box that was once from, I don't know, Chewy, do you think they really care what box you used? So,
Yeah.
so as these things are coming to your house, start saving the boxes. Yes, they're going to be in your way, so stick them out in your garage or something and use
Mm-hmm.
your judgment. Hey, this looks like a bathrobe size box. This looks
Yeah.
like it would be good to put some jewelry in. I just got a big box that looks like a leaf blower could fit in it, in case you're not buying one that's already boxed. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so save those boxes and reuse them. Again, being kinder to the environment and utilizing the boxes that are coming in rather than having to recycle them and then buy new boxes and then recycle those. Reuse, recycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another thing you should do about wrapping paper and cards at this time of year, I hope I'm getting to people early enough, but maybe not, is I call it attic static, right? All that stuff in your attic that never moves,
Mm-hmm.
like the wrapping paper from last year or the year before that you have forgotten about. And now you're in a store and you see this lovely wrapping paper and you want to buy enough wrapping paper to wrap all your gifts this year because they're going to look good in blue rather than red or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. But you know what? You thought the same thing last year and you bought some nice wrapping paper last year and probably more tags than you needed and probably more ribbon than you needed. Let's not forget bolts of tissue paper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So go and into your attic or your storage space or wherever you store this stuff and make sure that it hasn't been eaten by any little critters or anything and that it's still in good condition. Take your own inventory and then decide what you're going to do with that. Okay, before you
Yeah.
go out and spend a lot of money on wrapping paper. I forget what the stat was. I quoted it last year. I think the average American spends more than $700 a year on gift cards, wrapping paper, tags, ribbons, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
incredible, when you think about it. Okay, here's a good travel tip for you. Now that I've berated you all about having to use your old wrapping paper, right? Okay, good travel tip. Independent hotels. All right, now I know that hotels can be expensive to stay in, right? But
Mm-hmm.
independent hotels often feel the cost of putting their hotel out on the market more than a national chain. In other words, they pay up to 30% to be listed on travel sites and
Mm-hmm.
confirm bookings, right? So if you book through a booking.com or another kind of, I don't know about booking.com specifically, but if you book through one of those travel sites and you confirm
Right.
your hotel reservation through them, that hotel had to pay up to 30% to get that.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
email is your friend. Find the
So
hotel you want to stay at and email the manager or email the hotel and say, I'm looking for a discount and I'd prefer to book directly than to use a travel site. They will know what that means in code and
mhm.
give you a discount.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've used that before when we do vacations sometimes in Florida and on Groupons. If you actually just call the place, they'll sometimes match the coupon for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think I mean, any sort of price matching is a good way to save money also to say, I got this. You can say that, do you offer any kinds of discounts like AAA or other things like that as well? All right, here's another thing. Stay in someone else's timeshare.
Okay.
This is great, actually. The tips are getting better as we go. So stay in someone else's timeshare. I always save the best for last, and this is not last. But you might be able to take advantage of someone else's timeshare that they're not using for
Hmm.
less than half of what you would pay to stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
And
And
you're in
it's
their
nice
time.
because you get the kitchen, you get the whole thing with it. Yeah.
And it's really nice because they got some money for something they couldn't use this holiday or
Right.
whenever it is. So start checking out places where you can stay in someone else's timeshare. And there are lots of those. You just Google them, you'll find them right away. Okay, maybe this might be my last tip, I guess, but I really like this. All right, when I talk about gift giving, and
Hmm.
I talk every year about experience, right? Give an experience rather than a widget, right? People remember those. One of the things that I came across that I had forgotten about is experiential learning, right? Lots of colleges offer these free courses. So you could ask your local community for any four-year colleges in your area whether they offer special programs for free or reduced tuition for older students especially.
Okay.
So you might want to give your honey, I don't know that they offer anything free, but one thing that comes to mind is Franklin County Technical School, one of our sponsors, right, who has an adult learning program. It's a 13-week program, and they talk about, they teach you things like electrical or carpentry or,
Hmm.
horticulture. So pay attention to your sweetie's hobbies, and maybe you can get them a free course out of college and sign them up and say, hey, guess what I found?
Yeah.
And another last thing about free is ask your local library for a culture pass. These are free passes to places like museums and other cultural attractions. Nobody has to know you got it for free. You're giving them an experience. So whether you want to give a gift and you have money or you don't, here's
Hmm.
two really interesting ways to make this work for free and give
Yeah.
someone an experience, something they will remember and probably go and enjoy it with them, which is,
And it's
after all, one of
thoughtful,
the,
which is nice too. It shows you're thinking about them, you know what they like to do. It's thoughtful.
yeah, I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope, as I always do, that some of these tips are not the standard fare. I mean, I did draw, as I said, from AARP and familyhandyman.com and my own experience as well, and from you. Thank you, Jess. And I just hope that it started people to think about, hey, I don't have to break the bank at the holidays to do this really well.
Right.
And
I do want to get your thoughts on regifting.
really? Oh, regifting. I think regifting is okay, but my own personal thought is I like to ask the person that gave me the gift, would you
Oh, you
mind?
do?
Oh, I
Okay.
absolutely do. Because you know what? They usually are happy to know it. My sister's a great example. Would you mind? I know you gave this to me and you thought I would use it, but I haven't used it, and I have a friend who would love this. How would you feel about me giving it to her?
Okay.
And my sister is always like, no, that's great. I would rather that somebody gets it and uses it. Thanks for telling me. I won't buy that again next year. Right?
Right.
Yeah, I
I
think, yeah,
I think sometimes we're worried about hurting people's feelings, but or that the person that you give it to might find out it's a regift. I'm happy with a regift. If it's something that I'm going to use or like, I'm
yeah.
thrilled.
Well, I think that's actually part of the gift. Sometimes when I do that, I will let the person know. My sister, who's really thoughtful, did this thinking that I would love it. And the fact is, I don't love it, but I've checked with her and she wanted somebody to have it who would love it. And then you're
Hmm.
sort of giving the kindness forward as well. No, I think regifting is fine, but I do think there's something to be said for asking the person who gave you the gift. And you can start it carefully. You can say, hey, what's your thought about regifting?
Yeah.
Like you did with me, and they'll spill the beans pretty quickly.
One other quick tip that I wanted to throw in that I'm going to try this year, we'll see if it works or not, is look to see if any local radio stations or local organizations have a swap. We have one locally where you can kind of do a swap. So if you have something and you can swap it for somebody else's something and use that as a gift, then you're not spending the money and you're getting something nice.
Yeah, you just let the cat out of the bag for part two.
Oh,
But thank you. That was a good primer. Yeah, I think the second week that we do this, we will talk about where you can get huge discounts locally, things you can do to swap things, money that you can save within your own family by getting a little creative and having real fun with it. So, and I'll also give you some other money saving tips that'll get you into the new year.
I'm reading your mind now. This is scary.
It's good. I like it. Good.
Let me get your phone number.
Sure, Jess. It's 413-773-3333.
And you can always go to hugyourmoney.com. We will have part 2 next week
We will.
on holiday tips right here with Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Ram on WHMP.
Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor is underwritten by Hug Your Money. So unique, it's patented. Financial coaching and more information at hugyourmoney.com.